Yeah, I'm gonna get it. We are talking about the DJI FPV Drone. If you have not been living under a rock, then you've already seen so much leaked information about this drone. Now, I wasn't going to make a video prior to its release date, but I've had so many people saying, Sean, are you going to get one? Are you going to get one? Where you live is perfect to fly one of these things. So I felt that I sort of had to make one just to sort of answer questions because I do know a little bit about them. So in this video, I'm going to go over 10 reasons why I'm getting the DJI FPV drone and a few things that sort of suck about it. FPV drones are usually a time hog, and I am a crazy busy guy. Between owning my tattoo studio and trying to do this YouTube thing, as well as have a family and everything else, and fly drones and snowboard and just do all the other things I do, I don't have a lot of spare time. And FPV drones are a time killer. Between having to set up your FPV drone, your controller, everything with Betaflight, having to solder things, build things, figure out what to order, figure out what to do on Betaflight, it is incredibly time immersive, and that is the part of FPV that has kept me from getting super into FPV. Why am I playing Pac-Man while I do this? The DJI FPV drone has less restraints, time restraints, so all those things that I was just talking about, I'm not going to have to worry so much about them. That's a perfect way for us to lead into number 2. No more Betaflight. Now, I wouldn't say that Betaflight is hard to learn, but there's a lot to learn. And when you first jump into it and you start changing parameters around and you realize my drone used to be connected to my remote, but now when I try to turn it on, it doesn't work anymore because I changed something in the damn software and nothing works the way it's supposed to. It is a really cool bit of software once you do learn it, and I'm still learning it even though I've been playing with it for months now. When we go back to number 1, I'm so limited on time that by the time I learn it, so much time goes by, I've forgotten some of the things I've learned, and I have to sort of relearn that to then progress to learn the next part. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, it's software that you connect to your computer that you then plug a wire into your FPV drone, and that lets you do everything, which way your controller works, to beep sounds and how fast they work on rolls, pitches, and all that other kind of stuff. You can get incredibly detailed from what you see in the goggles, what kind of writing is in the goggles. I mean, you can do everything in that program. You have unlimited resources at your fingertips to modify things in ways that you will not be able to do with the DJI FPV setup. For someone with not a lot of time, that's probably a good thing. The third thing I want to talk about is Ocusync 3.0. That's right, Ocusync 3.0, not 1.0, not 2.0, but the rumors have it as 3.0 with a much longer range than what you can get on Ocusync 2.0, which is what we're used to having on our Mavic Mini 2, on our Air 2. If I recall, it's even on the Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro. That leads us perfectly into number 4. Long range. I've been eyeballing the Flywoo Explorer since the day that it came out. People started posting videos all over YouTube talking about its long range capabilities. That made me go, whoa! Because I've never really cared so much about crazy flips and freestyle flying as much as I do sort of crazy cinematic smooth banks and turns, and even some flips here and there, or maybe barrels, or a high loop bank at S-turn, whatever, something that you can't get without an acro mode, but it's not quite freestyle mode. That's what I'm interested in, and that's what a lot of these long-range drones can do. Everything I know about the new DJI FPV drone is it's going to be pretty much geared specifically for people who want that, which is me. And that leads us directly into number 5, where I live. Here in the mountains, I can go out and find all these crazy streams this summer and just long range fly between the trees, following these banks, following these streams, shots that are just something I just can't get with my current regular setups, and all these tiny whoops and small drones I have, and even that X-Night 360, they're just not going to be able to go as far as I need using the FR Sky system that I've been using. As much fun as it is flying all these drones with this setup and this controller, I enjoy this controller. It's really nice for me. It's the kind of setup I do like more than the old style big box radios. And that's something that the DJI drone comes with too, is sort of a game style controller. I gotta be honest, I really can't wait to see what kind of stuff I can capture with this setup and if it's really gonna work worth a damn where I live. Let's take a couple seconds to thank today's sponsor for this video. Thank you, World of Oz Productions, where you can get your very own Atomic Drone t-shirts, hoodies, and all kinds of merchandise, upcoming drone eyeball custom drawn stickers, mouths, and so much more fun custom art. So thank you for all your support. Now let's get to point number 6. The Fly More set, or whatever they're going to call it this time, that comes with the drone, with the goggles, version 2 by the way, and with the new game style remote, is so convenient that I can just take it all out of the box, plug things in, charge batteries, all that other good stuff, and be ready to go just with that setup. That leads us to number 7. It's supposed to be backwards compatible version 2.0 goggles and all that setup, the controller, everything with version 1 hardware. That means if you already have a bunch of digital drones, or let's say this is your first FPV drone and you want to continue going digital and get more into this so that you can learn the acro a little bit more, get more into freestyle, this is supposed to be backwards compatible with version 1 modulars that have been used. Modulars, did I say that right? Modulars? Module. That's a weird word. I must be saying it wrong. You know what I'm trying to say. It's supposed to be backwards compatible. If this is true as I've heard it is, you can go out there, buy this setup, get comfortable with FPV stuff, and if you want to push it further, go buy one of these cool little FPV drones that are super good for acro, and then get a digital modular with version 1 in it, poof, and you're good to go. I gotta say, it's a little crazy how easy these are leading into each other. So number 8 is also led in from number 7. This is an easy way to get set up as your first FPV drone. Now, I did a video when I first got the Tiny Hawk S, and you can check it in that card if you guys want to see what it was like for me to, 1, fly it for the first time in a stabilized mode, and 2, fly it for the first time in an acro mode. Now, I think a lot of people that are gonna get into this FPV system, the DJI FPV system, might be first-time FPV guys. You can just flip a switch and it will recorrect and turn back into a stabilized mode, which will let it fly almost identically to a Mavic or something like that. In that mode, what will its top speed be? Will you still be able to get up to those higher speeds? And that leads us to point number 9. Its top speed is over 70 miles per hour. I don't know if that's going to be in the stabilized mode or if that's only in acro mode. Somebody else who's already flown one might chime in down in the comments below, maybe to let us know if that top speed is only in acro or if it also works in stabilized mode. Number 10, it's DJI. And when DJI makes a product and it actually works, it works pretty damn good. I mean, think about it. This thing has a return to home on it. It has batteries that are proprietary batteries, which sucks for some people and it's great for people just getting into it because you just plug everything together and it works. You don't need handfuls of different batteries that are a little bit more explosive. You don't have to do the research to find a charger that works with most of your batteries or bother with all these little doodads and knickknacks to work with just these tiny little batteries because the other charger doesn't work with them. Making sure that this battery fits perfectly with that drone, because if it doesn't, it's gonna show in the shot, or this battery works with that one, but it doesn't work with this one. Maybe you didn't race RC cars, so you don't have a whole lot of old battery knowledge. You don't need it with this. That is a great thing for those who are just starting, but for someone who already has chargers, already knows battery stuff, and just wishes they could take the batteries they already have, plug it in and go, well, you're just not going to get that. And that was actually one of my big complaints when I first got into drones. The batteries I used in my RC planes, the batteries I used in my RC cars were useless. Every single company made their own battery that only worked with their drone. And that's been going on for 7, 8+ years. So that's not a new thing. So anyone who's hating on them for this happening, I don't know how they couldn't have expected it. Now that leads us into 3 bad things about the DJI FPV drone, and maybe they're not really that bad. To some, they could be seen as negatives. I think one of the obvious things is the way that it's built looks like it's definitely going to be something that you can't really do self-repair, or if you can, it's not going to be that easy. I don't want to prejudge that because I did own a Blade Chroma many years ago. Although it is its own plastic housings, its own molds, and it looks like everything is proprietary, which it was, you could buy just pieces and unplug them, pull them out, and replace them super easy. I mean, it was such an easy drone to work on. It was a plug and play, self-contained drone. Now, I'm not saying the DJI one is going to be like that, but they'd be pretty damn smart to have made it that way. Now, the second bad thing, and this is just an assumption because of the way that DJI Mavics and other DJI drones work, there's restrictions on where you can fly it. Some restrictions I think are great. Obviously, we don't want to be flying up 1,600 feet next to an airport, but what is fun about FPV, so far for me at least, is low flying, flying near things. Some guys like to fly super through little tight spaces.
That's what she said?
I mess with it a little bit, but I like to be able to fly 20, 30, 50 feet above the ground and have things around, because once you get over a certain height, and this goes for regular camera drones too, if you fly too high, everything doesn't even look like it's moving. And staying lower to the ground or closer to objects gives you a completely different feel, a different vibe, and to me, it's a cooler look. So if it has these flight restrictions and you can't fly, maybe you're somewhere and you're planning on just flying 10, 20 feet off the ground around your house or something, right? But you can't even take up off the ground, that sort of sucks. Now, the third thing that I don't like actually bugs me. I hope that in time this will have a solution to it. Someone will digitally print some things that will be a workaround so that you can still do this. That is, there is only one camera and nowhere to hook up a GoPro, some other kind of action camera, a 360 camera, or anything like that. I actually like testing 360 cameras and things like that on drones. Ed Ricker is coming out here in another week, and we have plans to do all this FPV stuff, testing the GoPro 9, the GoPro Max, the One X2, and really see what happens in different modes on these cameras and which one really works the best. Now, I do have one question that I don't know the answer to, and if you do, please let me know down in the comments below. How well will this thing work in high altitude, snow, and all these mountain conditions that I live in? If you haven't seen any of my other videos and you are new to the channel, you should definitely go check out that one there, where I fly 13,000 feet above sea level with my Mavic Mini 2. Would I be able to do that with this FPV drone? I've had drones that I've had up here years ago that completely fell out of the sky. I'm looking at you, Blade QX350. At these higher altitudes, the air is thinner. I live above 9,000 feet above sea level, and I go up to 12,000, 13,000 feet above sea level pretty regularly with my drones, and most of the drones I have by DJI work at those heights. So those are my 10 reasons that I'm going to go ahead and probably be buying the DJI FPV drone the day that it comes out. Start saving your pennies if you haven't already, because it's going to cost somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500, and early March you should have the opportunity to pick one up. Let me clarify, because I have to, that all the stuff I just talked about is based off of rumors. I don't know anyone who's told me anything. Don't take anything I say to heart. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to hit the subscribe button, click the little like thumbs thingy down in the corner, and really, if you want to really help the channel, share this video or any of my other videos, because that helps the almighty YouTube algorithm notice that you guys liked my content enough to share it, which then puts it in front of someone else, and they have the opportunity to click it and share it themselves, which then they can click it, and they can click it, they can click it, and they can click it, which helps the channel grow, which helps more people see these cool drone t-shirts and stickers, which helps the channel, because it's just, that's what you do if you like content on YouTube. So just do it, because sharing is caring. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below if you didn't. Thanks.